Alright, boys and girls, welcome back to the drive-thru for a remix. Alright, it's a ice delay here. It's a great morning for me. We got some visitors, and we're going to get going on standard deviation and variance. Okay, variance is a word that you understand. It's not that important mathematically, but we will use it to find the standard deviation. The standard deviation is very important. Okay, standard deviation measures the dependability of your data. So how dependable, how far away from the average at any given time is your data? So that still probably doesn't mean a whole lot to you, so let me do a little hypothetical. Let's talk about Marley, who is my son. Let's talk about his points in any given basketball game. Okay, and this is totally hypothetical. Marley is a good basketball player. He's a great kid, so I'm going to be making up some lies about him here just so you guys can understand a point. Let's say that Marley is extremely temperamental. The first game he had 10 points. He played awesome. Second game he had 12 points. But then in game 3 he had a bad morning. We all started arguing before the game. He went upset. He scored 0 points. And then in game 4 he got called for 2 early fouls. He yelled at the ref, never got back in the game. He had 0 points. Game 5, he had a good breakfast. He was happy. He went back to 12 points. But then in Game 6, he showed up late because he couldn't find his shoes. The coach was mad at him, so he started crying, and he had 0 points again. Okay? We could find the average here, and the point of this is that the average would be around 5.5 or around 6 probably. But Marley was never even close to the average. He was either way above the average or way below the average. His data varied greatly from the average nearly every week. And what that means is that his coach couldn't count on him. And for some coaches, they would like this. They would be intrigued by this type of player. They would think to themselves, oh, if I could just get rid of these bad games, this would be an awesome player. But another coach might say, I don't want him on my team. I can't count on him. He's going to be real high one day and real low the next day, and I don't know how to predict what to get out of him. Well, this is a lesson in standard deviation, and it's a really important lesson. So what you're going to find out about this is there is no tricky math. The math comes down to adding, dividing, subtracting. Okay? But there is a lot of strange notation. So the mean is another word for that, is just average. We will be calling X bar. You will see that from here on out in your statistics class. Your difference is whatever data point you have minus the average or minus the mean. Okay? Your variance is the sum, remember that, of the differences squared divided by the number of entries. So in this it would be 6. Okay, now we are, just like we call the average X bar, and that's a little weird, our variance is going to be called sigma squared. Okay? And our standard deviation, and this is sigma. It's like a 6 with a little, it's like a 0 with a little hat on it, or it's like a really sweet, weird 6. It's just a Greek letter. Okay? So standard deviation is notated by sigma. Well, notice that standard deviation is just the square root of the variance. So it's the square root of the sum of the difference squared divided by the number of entry points. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do one of these things by hand, and then we are going to do the rest of them all in our graphing calculator. Okay? So first, let's find the mean for this. So that's X bar. So to do that, I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to add up all these terms. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 terms. So I'm going to add them all up and divide by 9. That sum term is what I'm talking to you. I'll pause the video. What you're eventually going to do is just use your graphing calculator to find this. So, here we go. We got a 232, 254, 264, 274, 287, 298, 312, 342, and 398. All right, so take the term and subtract it from 295.6. And you get a negative 63.6. And then square it. And you get a 4044.96. Okay? All right, 254. Minus 295.6. Repeating. Negative 41.6. Square it. And you get a 1735.56. 264 minus 295.6. Repeating. Negative 31.6. Square it, you get a 1002.73. Okay. 274 minus 295.6. Repeating, you get a negative 21.6. Repeating, square it, you get a 469.44. 287 minus 295.6, you get a negative 8.6, square it, you get 73.96. 298 minus 295.6, you get a 2.4, 2.4 squared, 5.76. Okay, 312 minus 295.6. Repeating, you get a 16.3. Square it, 266.8. 342 minus 295.6. Repeating, 46.3. Repeating. Square it, 2146.77. Okay, 398 minus 295.6. Repeating, 102.3. Square it, 10472. 0.12. All right, well, that's a pain in the butt. I'll never do it again, okay? The variance is written like that. Well, that's just the sum of x1 minus x bar squared. So it's the sum of all of these, okay? So I'll save us a little bit of time. When you add up all, I'll pause the video. Okay, so I left something out that's important. I got to divide that by 9, okay? So I got to add up all of these and then divide by 9, and that'll give us our variance. So this variance is 2,247 0.518. Again, that's not even that important. It is the answer to one of our questions, but most importantly, what is our standard deviation? So we just take the square root of that, and you get 47.4. And what does that mean? That means on average, our data is 47.4 spaces away from the mean number. Okay, we'll get into that a little later, and hopefully you guys are all take statistics here at Sycamore. Now let's do what I really want to do, which is show you how to do this in your graphing calculator. That's kind of the point of this video. This will be the last thing we do here. So let's pull up the graphing calculator. Okay, so we're going to type these 12 data points into our calculator and let our calculator get the mean and the standard deviation for us. So we want to go to stats, okay? And we want to edit. We want to add a list. Sorry, we want to go to calculate and then 1. No, I lied. Edit, enter. There we go. So let me do that again. We're going to go stat, and then we're just going to edit. We want to enter this data. So then we type in each piece of data. 5.34. Whoa, how did that happen? 5.34. Enter. I'll go across. 5.4. Enter. 5.41. Enter. 5.42. Enter. 5.5. 5.55. 5.55 again. I definitely need to enter it again. 5.57. 5.7. 5.65. 5.66. 5.68. Okay? I'm going to go look and make sure I typed in all my answers correctly. Looks good. Okay, so now just go back to stat. Go to calculate. Now we want to calculate the first variable stat. Do you want to do list 1? Yes. I don't care about a frequency list. I just want to calculate. Here we go. So we just got to know what we're looking for. Look, there's X bar right there. So the mean, well, that's X bar. And that is 5.53. Okay? And the standard deviation is sigma. Oh dear. Oh, there it is. It's a decimal point there. And that is 0.11760. Now, I'd like to take this opportunity to show you what else. How many numbers do we have? We have 12. It counted us for it. What's the minimum number? 534. What is the first quartile? So if we wanted to make a box and whisker plot from yesterday, we could do that right there. What's the median? There it is. It's 5.525. So it's in between one of those two. What's the third quartile on our box? There it is. What's the max? Okay, so there's lots of helpful stuff there. This should be all you need to get through the rest of this chapter. And you can count on the fact that your test will be fair. It might even actually just be a project, because I think that this is statistics. It's the perfect time for a project. But it will be a test grade. Pumped up for you guys. You're almost done with Algebra 2. One more chapter on matrices. Boom!